into the second map of the series, we are sort of in the mindset of this, well, at least I am, that it could be relatively close. I still feel this going to map 3, though. I don't think there's many opportunities in which eSuba can get a 2-0 in this situation.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one as well. Again, I look towards this map thinking that ONYX are going to have a pretty decent, not enough time. Like, yeah, as soon as results aside, it should be theirs to take here as we look towards their T-side start, which is technically their better half as well. So eSuba better focus on the defensive. We'll have something up their sleeves to hold something in this map up here. We get towards the pistol round. The T-side players making their way into the banana and mid control for the start. Not much other than that.
Blogger's thinking about making an aggressive move out from Boiler, and if he does, that completely opens up the A side, knowing that Twist has fallen as well. And JR keeping eyes down, lock onto the top of banana position in case there is any aggression forward. And this one pick could make all the difference, all the timing. I think the shadow was seen.
Dimkey's going to face catch Bloggers, and that's now 5 versus 3. With A side being pretty much open for the pickings. ONYX can do what they want from here, and they'll wait their way up towards that A side, get that bomb planted out. Being a bit tentative against those other players out here for the CT forces, but there shouldn't really be much for eSuba. They are on rotate. Then we'll try to go for a retake. With 2 players in the advantage for ONYX, this should be their pistol.
I don't know how much emphasis they really put onto this. Is it worth just holding onto the kit and flash and some of the Kevlar, or try and see if they can get a retake on? Well, at least JR's going to give them an opening fight.
There's Luco, finding a frag. Opening up a chance as Impulse tries to frag back against him and will get Luco to drop. Savannah can trade the man. Bondit going to watch with Dimkey picking up that USP. The long-range engagement against the CT side players, and Petchin has now seen that man having his attention drawn away. Savannah makes his way up the site. Dav gets his kill, and now they'll all swing together and get the last man to fall. Bondit gets credited with the final frag, and it will be a pistol round again, going the way of ONYX.
Well, it's very simple. They find that first frag up to top of Banana, and then for Dimkey, it's just a matter of timing. He's able to swing out into Boiler just as that shadow starts getting seen, so the pick onto brackets is going to be very simple. And the retake, well, they tried it. They tried to see if they could find anything of it. Doesn't quite happen. We will see an MP9 in for Twist, and eSuba, they have shown that they're probably the best SMG players in this entire competition. I don't know what it is when they have MP9s in their hands.
Only one of those in play, however, for the likes of eSuba, and there have been some contentions on that particular title, but for Twist, it will go well enough to get that frag on JR, so just proving a point right there with a simple enough kill. Once again, pass that weapon back off to a teammate. Of course, he has got Petchin right behind him with 92 HP. Twist with that engagement was down to just 2. And the Mac 10s come out for Dimkey to overwhelm the player here towards Pier. Luco to fall. Savannah set towards the brackets on the boost spot position. Dav could get caught, but he's not making his way in from that angle. He's going to rotate towards Apps and try to join his teammates from there.
They're just going for the eye stack in from brackets, hoping that one of the lurk attempts of Dav can start walking up into that brackets angle. Unfortunately, it doesn't really happen. Bonnick even re-smoking down to Moto. And for eSuba, I don't think there's much of a retake really on here.
They've got a kit for Savannah, so there is that potential right there for him, but they've got to get these kills in. Petchin does get given the MP9, but Dav can still win out that fight. He is low. Great potential is there for the CT pistols, but as 2 players make their way away, Bloggers' best bet is looking for the exit frags. Seeing there on the boost up, Bondix ready to deal with a player out of apps. And this round will go the way of ONYX for their 2-0 start.
Just being able to work the early couple of rounds and not go back and forth like we did in the first half and the second half of Vertigo. We had some back and forth nature, those 4 spies being quite successful. Only 1 player dropping as well. Good confidence coming through from the Serbians of ONYX. And looking to try and make it a simple 3-0 start for him.
It should be easy enough, I'd assume, at this particular stage. eSuba did force the issue back in that particular round. They saved a couple of weapons, the Kevlar and the Mac 10 for Twist and Savannah. But just hand cannons around that, dropping the pistols is appropriate. Only a couple of players willing to invest into this round, and that makes a lot of sense. eSuba want the guns back out for round number 4. So round 3 will be a bust as ONYX will find their simple 3-0 start.
It's all about trying to see if they can create a chance of a trap, really, on this CT side going into the 3rd round. They've got 3 players out for B. There is a lot of map presence out to Banana gained early on for the Ts.
Smoke set, JR leaning in. Mac 10 trying to wrap around against them. Sees engagement, catches Luco, kicks things off on the right foot. And with an SMG pick as well, so money can just continue to be built up here by ONYX.
Start leaning back into this A-site play, and for eSuba, they haven't done a great job of slowing this round down, being able to really run the clock on their opposition. And they have got a crossfire being set on A, and for Savannah with the MAC-10, this is a difficult angle at this kind of range to do damage.
Especially as Dimkey catches his shoulder, gets the headshot in, Bloggers with a 5-7, does get one exit frag. Way too much breathing room for ONYX to get the trade together, 40 seconds on the clock and all. Yeah, Dimkey able to respond, leaving Twist and Petchant. Their pistols in hand, the save call called, and ONYX, again, looking for that 3-0 start for eSuba to get the guns out into round 4. That is their main focus. Damage will be a bonus, but even the MAC-10 is going to try to recover the lost investment of DAF.
Just try and see if you can farm up as much as possible. All comes down to the jiggle and the wide face to come in for that MAC-10. ONYX haven't been tested just yet. I'm sure that's going to turn around when we get into the opening rifle into the next. Even a HE trying to see if they can get more utility down. Making sure they're trying to clear out as many angles as possible. Flash in, Petchin hasn't quite given up the ghost, but Dimkey, I guess in terms of an advantage, it's that Dimkey got the AK frag and not the MAC-10, so not really much more money could be farmed.
As they got the trade on JR as opposed to trying to focus on the kill itself, because again, money is going to be important. It does still have a decent money line basis here for the likes of ONYX in general. Just bonus cash is always nice. eSuba, however, their cash amounts will lead it to the gunbuy in the next round, and again, that last eco was all about getting that round together. We should be seeing AWPs out, M4s in, and indeed we do. Full set to UT with Bloggers taking the mantle of the big green. ONYX play up and into the mid-control. Bloggers will try and watch for their position and catch that first player with Dimkey.
That's just sloppy coming out for ONYX. No flash over the top, no jiggle, just running over. And Bloggers, it's still a hard shot to hit. The opportunity was there and it was taken.
Frag's found to open up for eSuba. Right foot put forward. Now he's back to try to drive JR out of position. They'll do a little bit of damage. Not that much being done here, but they'll suppress ONYX for now. Throw them into disarray here on the B site rather than going for a definitive hit. Pitching an opportunity to get a pick or two. They could offer it up to him. JR just with a slow face, ducked down below the crosshair and finding Twist as well on the second face.
It was definitely an off angle to come in from Petchin to that top of Banana, and JR just deals with both of them so effectively. Bloggers is waiting for over-aggression to come out from construction side to get it back to a 3v3. This round isn't on at all. JR, great couple of kills.
Yeah, simple enough for him. With those two frags, eSuba just want to hold on to their weapons, and I think that these first 4 rounds set the pace for where ONYX want to go with this whole situation. 4-0 to the start, making it look so easy against eSuba. The pistol and conversions were fair enough, but that gun round, losing the first pick to the AWP, but still chiming back and forcing eSuba into submission despite that. They're going to go hunting as well as to gain their 4th round to the board, but also to take the weapons away from the eSuba side. Bondic leaning up out of apartments, won't overextend, neither will his teammates come back from mids. They will concede these 3 rifles back to eSuba.
It does allow a force buy to come back in, weapons to be dropped. Twist can even buy himself. They can go double AWPs if they fancy. Something we haven't seen eSuba do a massive amount, so I guess only if things really go down the drain quite quickly, they think to themselves, all right, well, we'll go double AWPs. We'll try and change our setup. ONYX having a very easy time on T-side. This is looking great from them.
AWPs set in, Molotov's coming back out. Dimkey can catch off these individuals as the CT just fall out of position. Get burned quite heavily by that utility. Vloggers down at 52 points of health. Not ideal here from eSuba. Again, ONYX won't get the opening man advantage, but they do find a start that shoots out serious damage and tries to impact against eSuba.
Well, Savannah did have a smoke who's playing out from pit, but rather than just wasting it, okay, I'm just going to run through the flames. I'm going to take some damage. A Blogger's going for that hyper-aggressive peek down from second mid, just catching all of the utility. And now things get quiet for ONYX, seeing some util being lined up towards that long position, trying to get into brackets. They'll have to face 4 players on A.
Petchin's the only man holding contact out of the banana control, just jump facing past that broken wall. Hoping to see T-side players, but again, his objective is going to be see them, put the incendiary down, flash out. Up on that stack's not going to do much in terms of suppression. He might call him back up pretty early here as Dimkey is just going to charge ahead of the marker. They know that they're coming. Petchin, what can he hold off for? 2 players known, 1 kill found against Dimkey. Falls back even further. JR gets that responsive. There'll be 4v4. Again, the bomb can go down.
Poor placed incendiary just does not slow him down at all. Blogus with the orb, maybe able to catch off JR, swinging out wide, and now a couple of kills come in for eSuba.
Advantage now for them on the retake, and this might be a bit more pressure than Dav and Bondic were really expecting. Lasher ready to go out towards that Coffin's control. Dav swings, sees one, can't quite catch the kill against him. Will look for Luko instead and gets that trade together with Bondic. Also going to the crossfire. Savannah still going to burst on towards both of them. Isolate the right angles at the right times and get the round. The first on the board for eSuba.
Yeah, well placed in that whole round. Not really a lot of over-fighting, getting some really good picks in, and eSuba just being able to get that retake together. AWP being posted up from Coffins really helped, and for Petchin, the rotations and util was quite slow from some of his teammates. They did at least be able to chip in terms of the damage being done, and then Dav and Bondic realised 2v4, let's just take fights. Let's get out here and CT, because if we play back defensive, we're not going to win this post-plant at all. Looking for engagements, and it allows eSuba to find their first.
Molotov's in as ONYX hold their line again against eSuba. Walk up into the apartment's angles, try to clear out the CTs from here and there. eSuba are pretty passive of their own right, though. They found that first round. They want to try and maintain a second. They don't want to give up city fights here to ONYX.
I've got to imagine as well that for ONYX, pressure is going to be really on these A players to just see if they can open up some map territory again. In terms of having a long player or even aggressive up to quad, we haven't really seen eSuba doing that at all. Blogus out from the orb with the pit position is able to get the first.
And for Luko, catches JR next to 5 versus 3. Dav with one good trade back, but Luko's caught 2 kills in the interim, so it's sort of 4 versus 2. Making it 3 actually. Dav's going to leave only Blogus on 1 point of health as the lone defender towards the A site. They need backup to get here. And Twist will be in position as now they take damage. The AWP, if Impulse still turns back to the head of that man, but Blogus turns his own orb up for a frag. Impulse can trade it. Now look for the 1v1 against Petchin. 6 HP versus 100. M4 versus AWP.
I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we even recovered into a 1v1 situation, and for Impulse, it all comes down to where does he position himself to?
Back up in the apartments, it seems. That bomb has been planted. Not really that open in the center of the site. If it was on default, we could go all the way around towards short and try flank and play the mind games against Petchin. Got a peek in from Apps as Petchin checks all his bases. Diffuse kit only, no smoke. Tap on the bomb and Impulse just swings, directly flicks into his 3rd kill and finds a 5th round for ONYX.
Oh, beautiful stuff coming in from Impulse. And for eSuba, how frustrating must that be when they've got bomb control, they've got themselves a 4 versus 2, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it just gets so out of hand. Twist so late to the swing out from Library when the arch contact came in, and Impulse, the flick coming down on low HP, wins the fight. ONYX up to 5.
Yeah, looking fantastic in eSuba. Early game troubles, early game woes for them. Inside walking straight in, the nades at the ready. Savannah's going to be up on top of the top quad boost. Holds back for now as his teammates wait in their passive positions and do find the opening kill. JR falling to Twist on the opening advantage out to Banana.
Now, these advantages are very much needed for eSuba. Even having Savannah being boosted up on quad, haven't seen this before.
Right back from Mars turned away from Incendiaries on. Utility in, Flash is turned away from, looks for the individual. Spray goes a little bit awry for Savannah as Dav can't get his responsive together. A 4-on-3 now. Player getting caught back over at Fountain, equalizes the man standing for ONYX. But Luko has other ideas. Held towards Pit, he gets Impulse. Can't see any more of the T-side line. Sees those bullets coming his way. And nades as well to the center of the side. Looks up to Dav. Core info. He now knows where both of them are at. With that bomb still being on short, though, they've got to aggress him. They've got to try and find the kill against the man. And meanwhile, Twist comes in as backup alongside Petchin's flashbang. And there was a kill on Dav, leaving Dimkey in a 1v3. Isolating that first pick. Swung upon by the second man. Still out there. The bomb still in CT control. He can't find Luko. So long as Luko does not peek, it's basically going to be round 1 right there as Petchin closes in the pincers and wins out the second for eSuba.
Just well handled, coming through from Luko in that pit position. Savannah getting away with 1. Probably would have liked to have seen that spray be tighter ever so slightly. The AWP gets caught on the wall, just being completely blind, makes it really difficult to fall back. Dimkey trying to isolate as many fights as possible, just doesn't happen. And for eSuba, It's following down the same sort of path of what ONYX were like on Vertigo, where they were just winning individual rounds and never really finding continuous success. That's what they've got to change.
eSuba just coming back in. Bloggers with the AWP, going to try follow up this round, seeing a second individual, but getting the hell out of the apartments. Does not want to stick around there for a second fight. He knows he could lose that owl. Savannah's instead boosted as Bloggers turns back in towards brackets and finds Dav instead. Two great AWP shots, two great AWP kills, and eSuba are finding their rhythm.
He's definitely an exciting player, and he might even be on for more. Out to long, just misses the easy shot to JR, gets punished for it.
M4 back as JR with that one frag. Getting the long control. Savannah can't quite see him. The smokes have come out from the T-side line. It's to Preston for now, going quiet back into the default, trying to re-aggress back into the A site.
It all comes down to being able to isolate that individual pit player of Luco. Savannah's so deep, it's going to get smoked off at Moto as well.
Smokes on, flashes over, nades up, damage done. M4 set in as Luco gets Bondic next to 4 versus 2. T-side players walking up, a secondary pick back, looking for the triple as well. JR can't see his man, but Luco's going to catch him anyway. Swing on the triple, and a third round for eSuba.
Okay, now we're starting to see some glimpses of what is on offer. Bloggers aggressive out from the apartments, no trade comes back in. That one maybe wasn't quite the glimpse of what can be expected from Bloggers. Luco out from pit, just doing his own thing, getting some util from some of his teammates in terms of the rotates coming through from Moto. Third round up from them, and, well, plenty of AKs you could see.
4 of them. The only weapon more popular than the M4 A1S right now, apparently. At least in this tournament.
They've been loving it.
Yeah, they have. Good credit to their name. 5-3 for ONYX. They've called in the tactical timeout for the time being. What can they adjust here? They won't have any AKs or any M4s. It's going to have to be the eco out for this one with upgrade pistols. What's the follow-up, though? Can eSuba continue this hype train?
Well, it's going to come down to not losing many bodies at all to an eco like this. Not money upgrades at all, so I want to say one pick at most should be all that ONYX can find.
Nades up to try and dish out some damage against Bondic. Easy stuff for Luco, already targeting 25 without even taking contact. SMG for Bloggis gets his 1 kill and his second and his third. Plenty of money gained against the eco pistols, and yeah, this round goes about as well as you would expect it to. 2 left standing. He's taking that 1 pick back on Bloggers to maintain some sort of responsive semblance, but the nade back on Bondic finally finishes the job. And Impulse left 1v4. Dead to rights by Pitchim.
Now, fun fact as well about the ONYX side was coming into this series, Jay, out of every team in the competition, they're actually rated first and highest for utility ADR on average. So something to probably keep an eye out for, more so in the second half, I think, of Inferno, is just how much maybe some of the nade stacks in Banana and the Incendiaries and the HEs can actually do for this Serbian team.
Still a lead held here by ONYX. Try and hold off against the eSuba's catch-up efforts. Nades up against the AK players. Of course, the damage will be minimal. So sails past the main man up at Banana. That's JR. Smokes on towards the apartments. Flashes in as Petchin may have been spotted. The sandbag still wins that fight against his man. The advantage goes the way of eSuba again.
Interesting angle for Savannah too. Rather than being on top of those flat points, it's actually just kind of on the side. And surely Dimkey just does not pre-aim this.
Oh, Savannah leans up though. Sees the flashbangs coming over, turned away from. Sees the spray, gets his kill together. Dav there with a responsive looker. Sees one player coming back out. He drops away from the balcony itself. Flashbang in and still blind. Taps up the head of Dav and gets another headshot and Impulse as well. Looking for the triple. Luco's got no luck around him. It's all skill for eSuba to take 5.
He was so flashed, he couldn't see anything. It all starts off in this top Banana play. Savannah being able to get a 1-for-1 trade. ONYX going quite quickly up short side to wrap into A. I don't know. Okay, I really don't know. He's so flashed. It really is similar to the JR kill on that alley position on Vertigo, where he gets flashed and he just spams as soon as that flash pops.
I don't even know what to say to that. Just such tenacity for Luka to stay alive in that scenario, let alone win the round off his efforts.
Interesting.
That's an interesting... What is it? What?
It's a sound cue. Maybe thinking that he's like mollied out the end of the balcony position, because you can hear the flames and you can see some of them, but he could actually run in front of it. So Bondic just maybe not expecting the play to come in.
That's an interesting little nade, and might want to see if we can theory cross something around that particular set piece. One kill does come in for ONYX. It's a 2-for-1 trade overall for eSuba. 2 kills for Savannah, of course. The orb in the hands of Impulse. What can you do with this on the B campaign?
But if they can deal with the individuals, then something could be on. And when you think about the CTs being positioned the way they are on B, they're not really fighting together, are they?
No. Often very different positions. Twist here at Construction, expecting the wraparound to come forward. Will get caught by Dimkey. Petchin can trade him back, drop that bomb, call for backup desperately because now he knows he's going to need to hold this with rifles now in the hands of the T-side players. Swing upon the AK. Petchin does get caught off. A triple up for Dimkey and a 2-on-2. Is he going to be able to force this back out for ONYX?
Well, they've got a HE, so if this goes down into the site or even close to Dimkey, he's going to be a dead man. They don't have a smoke. At least they've got kits.
Savannah watching, or leaning up, catches Savannah. Oh no. eSuba was such a solid start in this round, and now Luko left alone for another multi-frag sort of round here. Will lean up. Can't see anything, can't catch these players, or try to look for the bomb plant, or the bomb diffuser, I should say. The time's ticking, 10 seconds. Tapping that bomb continuously. Gonna force out the next player, but Dimkey gets a quadron, 5 points of HP. What a round to hold.
Honestly, there really isn't many upgrades there at all, and the round looks over. It's a 5v3. Okay, they're walking in from city spawn, they've got an orb. Okay, Petchin drops the bomb, round is done. Oh wait, hang on a minute, no, not at all. Dimkey, a great sequence of him, the flick in for the orb. Impulse is hitting some unreal shots with the flicks.
Brilliant recovery from ONYX on the back of the start that they had. eSuba down by a round, but still have a buyback, of course, in this next one. M4 for Petchin, trying to swing in and catch JR. Smokes up to provide a bit of cover for him up towards that top of banana position. So far, so little game when it comes to vision. Kill for JR, catches Twist, kicks things off on the right foot.
This isn't the greatest of starts at all for eSuba. We already saw Petchin taking plenty of damage to the molly down to 44. He's now lost his teammate in from Twist. That's going to force a rotator Savannah to move over to the B site, and for ONYX to now start focusing the attention. Aggression coming through for the orb. Bloggers does get one. Can't get back into safety.
That with an all-important trade, a 4-on-3 scenario. Look, go, can't find a responsive, no smoke down for him either. Then he comes up, he engages against the one player out of the balcony, but can't focus on Dimkey. He's completely blinded off. Dav on site will get that bomb plant. Petchin and Savannah, do they go for this? It's a 3-on-2 against their name.
It's tough. I reckon you just back off and save. It's not really worth it with the money of where it is. If the pit player was able to find more, if we saw Luko being able to get a multi-frag, the mindset changes ever so slightly. Even Bloggers, you could see what he was trying to do. They realized they're down by a man. Okay, I'm going to walk forward. I'm going to see if I can get an aggressive pick out from brackets and then fall back to safety. And all of those moments just only landed 1 kill each.
Give us up a 7th for ONYX as a result. eSuba did so well to set themselves up with the potential on the CT side, but losing out that particular round may set them back by quite the margin. Again, the economy is not there for them. That's what the buy might look like in the next round, but surely must be able to save weapons, and that might be about it. Go for the eco, get the guns back out in the follow-up. Yeah, upgrade pistols will be in play. USPs, Deagles. Those 2 M4s will be the only M4s.
There's still some backing behind it. You've got some upgrades, you've got some armor in for Bloggers. And for ONYX, this isn't a round that you could just completely overpower. It does come down to the defaults, this early information gathering. JR getting a lot of map control towards top of banana.
Ability on. Trying to find his way out towards that quad position. Making noise, however. He's given up info to the T side. They'll know. They should know what that setup is now.
Might be misdirection, because they heard that on the top of quad and they didn't hear the drop down.
Flashes in, M4 watching. Dimkey doesn't actually pre-aim it, so you might be right on that particular front. The spray continues and does damage to the second player in the back, but doesn't get the kill on the man. Impulse credited with a 4 versus 4 scenario. Pistol close for Luco. Eagle also on site for Bloggis, and 2 more CTs on the rotation. The smokes and Molotovs indicate they're going to go toward this angle. Smoke on the site itself should provide a bit more cover here for the T side. They're going to swing out pretty wide, get Luco to start. Bloggis still sat in the back with his Eagle in his hand. Sees those players, hears them coming in with a spray. Dav attempting a bomb plant at default. Bloggis could deny it. Spams his way on and does get that kill, but his teammates have fallen in the meanwhile, so it's all left to him to clutch this. Swings back, catches Impulse as well. So damage can be done to the T side, but it will not be around for eSuba.
And that's some decent work coming through for that Deagle. Savannah not really getting found straight away out from Keo. And doing damage isn't really that important, only because we don't have a crazy amount of rounds to go until we get into the second half. We've only got round 14 and 15 to play, so it will make some difference. Still, though, you have a look at the money in the bank. JR, Dimkey, Impulse, all sitting about 3k, 4k between them. It's only Dav and Bondic that are slightly lower on the chamber. eSuba, they can just make it 6, 7 rounds, keep it tight to the back end of this first half. They'll be happy with the performance. I don't think 5 rounds is just enough.
Guns out. Rebuys in from both sides, as you would expect. Again, eSuba with a bit of an eco. Again, they can be happy with the fact they took 3 players down. ONYX are going to be a little bit limited with clash amounts, so that might reset a bit of a buy going into the final round of the half. The Impulse doesn't want to let them get anything out for that. Kill onto Luco. Bloggis forced back out on the balcony.
It's a good aggressive start coming through from the AWPer, playing with some confidence, and even for JR, just holding them at bay. He's been doing a lot of lurking in and around logs, half full, up to top banana. And just making it very difficult to get reads out for Bloggis. He's got a teammate with him. At least they've got the AWP and the M4 to defend on short side.
Shots on, catches that kill. Bloggis trades back. Now to fall, nice nade on from Savannah. He's got to do a little bit more with his M4, however. His Twister comes up and gets to the backstab together, actually, in from Brackets. They're going to be completely discombobulated. So Bloggis refaces in from short, catches another good kill. Dav's got a bomb on his back, trying to work up towards that short position. Bondic still retaining that Vaps to go ahead and join him. Both players will walk together. Only 2 to find on this A site. If they can isolate the right shots at the right moments, that could be more than enough. Or they can line up. No, Savannah gets caught back by Bondic. And now Bloggis set towards Library. It's the only player to hold. He gets smoked and the bomb will go down.
Yeah, Bondic's moving aggressive. This could be a really great play from him. He's even going to move forward with that smoke. If he can trigger discipline, he can get a couple of kills.
Oh. Twist walk in. Knifes out for Bondic, though. He doesn't expect him to be so close. Kill on, leaves it all towards Dav. 1v3, flashed in, trying to evade it, but didn't quite work out that way. He's trending towards Cubby corner and swung upon by Twist. He still finds his regardless. And we'll find that sick 3-Suba.
They realised pretty quickly we need to get a move on. We don't have a kit, so let's get into the site and just get this bomb defused. Twist is able to swing out quite wide. And for ONYX, the thing that they struggle with there is they don't know where to look. You're getting pushed in by short side by the AWP. You've been able to win out that opening duel. And then the CTs press on the backstab, don't they? Twist and Petchin start making that aggressive move forward. And then where do you look? Do you look boiler? Do you look short side? Do you look back down from mid? You're not sure where to look.
eSuba will find that 6th, looking in for the 7th as well. Close out the half on a pretty high note, and the AWPer Blogger is getting caught by seeing a shoulder and a jump phase. Often going to go ahead and tag out the shoulder player. Dimkey down to 18, but no casualty. It could have been one, and he focused a bit heavier, but it was a very, very last second playing. Only so perfectly timed to catch the ONYX individuals. Playing out towards the B site on the part of the T side. They're all in banana. Boosted up. Spokes down with the CT to suppress.
Dav's waiting for a mistake, waiting for a punishment. Instead, it goes the other way. A great connection coming through from Petchin.
And a double up as well. JR's going to drop. 5 versus 3. He's still going to stick around here at the sandbags. He's come virtually unscathed here. 95 points of HP with Bondic and Dimkey trying to face together and catch him. AK up close, swung upon, one shot, Carly comes forward, and now he's left towards Twist in the back of the site. Seeing the smokes coming in incendiary, to try to stop the T side, forced them to put on the brakes. Meanwhile, Savannah's made his way up towards second mid and is recognizing that nobody's out here. This has got to be a B commitment. Twist going to wait, gonna look in against their name, swing out, sees two. Gonna try and isolate one with a flashbang forward. Bondik and Dimkey seen, sprays through blockers, gets his own AWP frag. It's all left to Bondik now at the Shire. Luco could get caught for it, but so many trades for Bondik to find. It's only good for one as Twist holds out the 7th round. And eSuba recover the CT half. Gonna make the T half work? We'll find out after this break. eSuba, despite being on their opponent's map pick, have managed to do quite a fair amount of work against ONYX and still bring this within one of the lead that ONYX have gained early in the second half. Now we go towards their T side. Can it be as competent? Can it be as deadly? We find out as we get towards the pistol round. Twist to lead that charge straight up and into the A side. JR with face alongside Impulse. Great kills in a 1-for-1 trade. Impulse trying to focus on the player out towards Shaw, however, leaves Bondik alone as the side defender. Needs backup to get here because he's in a 4v3.
Dav's got a couple of flashes. Twist with a great shot out to Library. He's found 3 in the round.
Big stuff from him. He's still IHP. He can go in for a little bit more. Luca does get caught back by Bondik. Twist engages against Bondik, and Bondik dishes out some damage, but he's dead out of ammo. Not even anything left in the reload magazine. Bloggers can catch him, and Dav can't even deal with Savannah. Low HP for the man, but the pistol goes the way of eSuba.
Mate, what was that shot coming through from Twist? A great wraparound on from Longside, and Impulse and JR have got the trades in terms of the setups itself, struggling to really get the picks involved for Bondik out from the apartments. That tap into Library is everything in the round.
Beautiful one out of that as everyone proceeded to run out of ammo and have no opportunities there beyond 8 apiece. eSuba find an all-important pistol round that sets them on even footing against ONYX and could extend it even further.
Okay, here we go. The Czech team really showing up in a big way, and I did see this coming out onto Inferno. Not the map, just the way that Vertigo came down, that it should be a battle. It should come down to the wire. To think they're actually going to take a lead, though, in the second half, I didn't quite see that happening.
Four-man stacking over towards the A site for this round is eSuba. Working their defaults for the time being. JR. Out with his CZ as ONYX. Hope for his contact. Will eSuba check him though? Smoke's down over at Moto. I think Bloggers are thinking about this. Counter nade involved. They do check it. They do get a kill. Damage has been done to a lot of T-side presence though. They force Bonding down to low HP and eventually Bloggers should catch this kill together against the man. CZ just jump facing, trying to get out of dodge. Meanwhile, Dav set alone on this smoke as the lone defender of the B site. If he can get Twist, that might be enough to drop that bomb. Will he get the round together? A second kill might be enough to do that alongside Bondix frag. And just like that, the CTs have turned this around.
Can they get the bomb control back? They're going to get a smoke to try and see if they can dive forward, pick up that bomb. That might give them a way back in. Savannah with the Mac 10, an all-important kill. Now he's just got to get back to the site and get it planted.
2v2 scenario. Deagle and Dimkey can't trade back on towards Petchin. It's all left to Savannah. Long-range engagements against the Galil could be a problem against the Mac 10 over. It might lead to evens. Sees that second individual forced on the reload, though. He's got to get out of dodge. HP advantage for him, but Molotov forces him back. He can't push forward of that. And Bonnie does not have a kit. He's got to stick the whole 10 seconds. Taps it once, trying to force Savannah forward. He's in construction, hoping that Bonnie's gone back out towards that main position. Mac 10 wraps, doesn't see him. Bondic with a swing, just catches vision. 7 HP each now in 13 seconds. Diffuse's got to get stuck in hole. Savannah doesn't know. He might have already won this. The Mac 10 spray, the Galil spray comes up, but it doesn't matter. They lose all their lives. It will still be eSuba with 9.
Oh, Bondic had such the right play and the right call. The way that he sneaks over to Nubox, you think that frag is theirs. It all comes down to looking at that bomb, realizing it's not being stuck at all. Tav and Bondic, I don't know how they got away with so many kills out to CT. Savannah pushing forward, getting this bomb back. Petchin doing as much as possible in terms of damage alone. Savannah was on 7 points of health. In another world, Bondic could have won that. Instead, it goes the other way.
It all came down to that jump face and the fact the spray was thrown off by the last man of the T-side line. Had that had come through for him, then yes, that definitely would have been his round. He would have had plenty of time for that defuse. As it stands, 9-8. Mac 10's in for Petchin, sees Dav out towards that B site. Luco's caught the first kill in the brackets. One of 4 players on a stack. They can isolate Dav. They'll get that B site under their control. They don't want to lean towards the A play because Bondic's there with the Galil on top of quad. They do catch him actually, so they get that weapon out of play. The USP can still strike back for JR. Dimkey also turns the deal into a pick. So again, damage being done to the T side. And for ONYX, it's already pretty much a decent success.
Yeah, it really is. Dimkey with the Galil looking for more. Going to be rotating out from CT. Dav eventually does get caught out by the utility of the HE placement. And a 10th round from ONYX is going to be secured with 1 more kill.
Re-smoke down, this allowing Dimkey a chance to get a pick as the smoke fades. And sat there, Petchin will be able to get Dimkey in the end and close out the round for a 10th for eSuba. But again, 3 players alive, 2 casualties against them. Have to rebuy the Kevlar, the utility, plus the upgrade AKs. Didn't lose much in the way of big weapons. eSuba find their way up by 2 now. Rebuy in for ONYX, however. The M4's trying to change that pace.
Now, this is really where pressure's going to be on for ONYX to bounce back. They're going to try to take banana control.
Here comes Bondic, seeing Savannah getting that kill against him, clearing out all the banana by extension. I don't think eSuba want to go back for that position, but now ONYX have got a ton of info to work with. Where do eSuba go now? They go back towards the A play quick. Saying like they wanted to go for it, but don't commit entirely. They're outside of brackets. The CT's just going to wait.
Bouncing the molly off the skybox down into that quad position. Impulse not spamming through that smoke just yet. Very good read on this A site. A lot of players here. It all comes down to this long duel for Luco.
Great shot for him. Eventually catches Impulse, and indeed, the long duel goes his way. Bondic could get up the chance. No, he catches it despite being blind alongside Dav with his swinging over towards short. Twist gets caught. Bloggis goes down as well. And Petchin, 1 versus 4 for him. Bomb being dropped out in ONYX's favor. And this will be their 9th, surely. eSuba Their big concern is going to be their economy state, though. Not the fact that their leader's being brought up towards Petchin. Let's get a little overwhelmed and look at the money they have to work with.
And that was a great crossfire being set. Even with Bondic being flashed, he's able to follow up. And to think he was the guy that aggressed down Banana in the early round. Impulse getting domed out by Luco. And then both players just peeking together. Bondic getting out to get a pick. Dav getting involved into the action. Even Dimkey finishing off the round. eSuba, you've got two players on double eco status. Everyone else with money. In terms of just cash across the board, it is just, it's wrecked. That no one is really on the same level.
This is going to be a harsh round for eSuba here. Tactical timeout called for them, as you would expect, to try and align themselves where they need to be. The buy will come in, though. They will get those 3 AKs out for Twist, Petchin, and Savannah. And Petchin as well, man. He had a really, really great map in the first one. So far, only 9 kills deep for him against the ONYX side on their opponent's map pick. Could be a major setback that eSuba could make up a lot of room for if they were to get him going. It's on one of the AKs as well, so he's expected to get some frags.
Now, you've got to expect with this kind of buy, an entry kill or just a man advantage is going to be everything that eSuba need. Getting into a position again where it seems that the scorelines are going to be very tight. eSuba have got the opportunity of trying to not allow that tide to come up. Quick play out from Bracket's short side, perhaps.
Sprays on Dimkey with a smoke bet to go down here at the gap in the fence. Twist at 2 points of HP. Spray lines up for Bondic to get himself 2 kills. Damage done to the third man as well. Bomb dropped in all. AK in for Impulse. Might even get his chance at a crack at the T-side line. And Savannah's going to fall. Bondic traded, but he's the only casualty, it seems. Twist on 2 HP. He's got no chance.
Not at all. ONYX, great defensive again on this A side. And for eSuba, it makes you think, do we need to see more B presence? Do we need to see more sort of offensive down towards that banana position or just over to the B side? Because really, they are having a tough time dealing with these A defenders. Bondic, just an easy couple of kills. And even Impulse just backs him up.
Simple enough. These kind of rounds from ONYX that you start to expect to see from them at certain points. eSuba. AK in for Dimkey. Easy pickings for him against this eco pistols. Easy enough with the spray down. JR steals one of those kills, so it's not quite a triple. The bomb's been dropped and the CTs have all the control.
Dimkey just hoping for slightly more in this position, just allowing those Glocks and slight upgraded pistols not to find anything at all. ONYX now starting to work with rounds in a row. Blogger's going to fall. Petchin's the last one, and, well, even for him, very low HP. JR's going to be able to finish it off. ONYX taking the lead up to 11, and for eSuba, gotta wonder when they're going to start putting pressure back on, or whether this streak just continues moving forward.
It was an eco for them in the previous one. There was, of course, an eco following up before Spy. You can sympathize with how eSuba might not necessarily be in the best of positions overall in those last couple of rounds. The AKs will come back in for this one. Still limited by 2 Galils, though, so it won't be the best of buys, but it will still be rifle v rifle in this round. And no orbs for ONYX to try and strike against them either.
I haven't seen a lot of AWPing really at all for ONYX over the course of the series. Seen a lot more in the hands of Bloggers than we have of Impulse. And Bondic thinking about an aggressive move from the T's out from Brackets. Just going to re-smoke down. eSuba. Here's that banana contact, that slight move in terms of map territory, because it's been a lot of leans over to A these last few rounds.
eSuba start the walk up into the banana control. Petchin will lead that charge. Incendiary set. Double nades in. Lots of damage done. Perfectly placed. Perfectly timed. So much chunk damage against the T-side forces. The lineup for Dav makes it a triple. It's easy pickings for him and JR. And Twists, well, he's out of this one. He knows.
That really is an excellent round. Utility usage is just impeccable. And as well as that, the lineup, the way that they're all swinging together, the flash, the HE, the incendiary, both players really in from CT, even with one out from the flower pods, and JR and Dav, they just back each other up perfectly. And Twist, the last one left at eSuba. They're running out of steam.
One frag on from Twist is the best that they can get out here for eSuba. I think you're right. What's felt like such a great start and a great mid-map from these guys have turned into a disaster of a T-side now. The pistol and the conversions still not good enough to get themselves a decent basis here on the T-side line. ONYX. All the guns out. M4s, AKs, AUG, no AWP still. Don't look like they need it, really. Playing a fine game enough as it stands. The pistol's out of the quick apps. Popper seems like rush straight in towards the A bomb site. Nade on Dimki again, well placed against Twist and Luco. They'll still run their way out towards short and try go for the A site hit. Try to get that plant in, get some bonus money. Burning alive towards that quad molly, and Impulse can get 3 kills. 2 past the smoke alongside ONYX frag. Doubles up of his own accord, and it's 13-10 for ONYX.
And this is why their rate is the highest in the event for their utility ADR. We're just seeing it on this CT side. And it's beautiful, just the notion of consistent, huge damage. And we're not even talking about 10, 20 points of HP done to a couple of individuals. We're getting players down to, what, 50 points, 40 points of HP, and that's a lot, just with utility alone. And even Impulse, with all the information of the sound cues of them standing in the molly, well, just going to spray through the smoke and, well, hope to find a lot of kills, and that's exactly what happens.
Tactical pause. Called in by eSuba. What is their third of this game? And if they can't make this next round work, then I feel like it will be their last of this game. Rifles in. Orp out for Bloggis this time. Can he get what he needs? I need to. Incendiary set. JR going to walk straight up here with the AK in his hand. Saved him from the previous couple of rounds. 1 of 2 they still have here for the CT side, and trying to extend in against Bloggis is thinking there might be some sort of aggressive play. Footsteps made, looks out towards mid, and JL just catches him off out towards Mexi. Swings back on the next player. Dimki's already made his way out of apps, and the response has been so great. Giving the CT side, even JR should have been dead to rise to patch him, but no. Savannah in a 1v4. It's over, it's done, this is over.
It really is a joy to just watch the style of Counter-Strike they play here on the CT side. JR getting aggressive out from Mexi, goes, right, well, we've already got a couple of advantages. I'm going to fall back. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got to look back in for a second kill. Somehow gets that. Even Dimki pushes forward a bedroom in the apartments. He finds a double 2, and Savannah's giving the information away. There's a backstab from Bondic. This is an easy pick to come through from the CT side. Savannah, there's no way he expects this position. Bondic is so deep over in the T-spawn. ONYX up to 14. And all it took was a CT side.
I love the veteran discipline from Bondic as well to wait back at the T-spawn entrance rather than trying to extend and catch that player off. Just like, right, I've got the bomb. He's got to cross towards my crosshair, so just sit here, wait, and hold on for the kill when it comes in at the right time. 14-10, ONYX. 2 away from the win here on their map pick. eSuba going to have to go half buy and try go for a full invest and take 5 rounds in a row to overtime. But with the way that ONYX have been playing, man, they found a new lease of life in this second half, I tell you that. This CT side has gone wonderfully for them. eSuba tagged up heavy on Savannah and Bloggis. Nade stacks in, going to try and drive CT players away, but it'll only be so successful. They now have the info, they're all in Banana. Smoke on, going to try to stop them alongside the Incendiary as well. Bloggis and Twist just going to get sprayed up by Dab behind that smoke. Easy pickings. Nade's only do so much damage in return. It's a 5-on-3 for ONYX.
And just the clear difference we're seeing between ONYX and eSuba here on Inferno. It's just the cohesion, the utility usage, you can't fault at all. So much spam damage coming through to the T side behind this top of Banana Smoke. And Savannah, again, last player left. They know that he's here. He's on 3 points of health. Somehow gets 1 pick, so there's some damage being done. Not really a massive amount. 1 kill's all it's going to be, and it's even a HE again. More utility kills coming through for ONYX. And this CT side and this second half for ONYX really shows me, Jay, how they've been able to beat Banker Pepsi in the past, how they've been able to beat teams like AGO, have tight series against Skate, and actually really put on some good results against high-end Tier 2 opposition.
Yeah, ONYX have got this map down pat. There might have been a risk of picking against eSuba, who haven't played it much the last handful of months, but this is just way too solid on the basics for ONYX. And eSuba know that they're probably done here. They'll try to go for 1 final buy, try and grind back to OT. But I have a feeling that's going to be even a difficult prospect of its own right. Try to go out towards the brackets position, try and maintain control of some part of this map as Luke forces the issue out of the apartments, gets only 1 frag. Dimki with a fast response.
Yeah, Petchin's desperate for a wide swing, desperate for any sort of opportunity to connect onto a frag onto Dav. They're still pushing forward onto short side, and Savannah opens up on the sides.
Looks like Dav with his trade back. Dav can follow it up as well. 3v2, making it 2v2 as Savannah can trade. Both CTs inbound from the moto angle. Savannah could get caught with his back turn. Straight wall bang on the default plant position, and it's Blogis with his AWP out. A minute to clutch in a 1v2. Smokes down to get a bit of cover here for the CT side. He must be aware of where they're at. Nades on will do some damage. Not that much, though, and even then, he wouldn't have had low enough HP to get the kills here. 45 seconds. Going to back out of apps. Try and bait the CTs. They get a bit overly aggressive. JR could be spotted. Yes, he is. Great kill in the boost spot position. Looks back in for Dav, and Blogis saves the matchup for eSuba.
Very well played in the 1v2, just to be able to drive out those individual fights. And when you think about the side defense of it all, Bondic and at least Dimkey just trying to work together. Dav swinging out from Moto. There's just no smoke there at all for the D side, even though they had a smoke. Denies that bomb. You go, right, this is over. 16-10, see you later. Here we go, map 3. And instead, Bloggers, all right, mate. I want to see some more of that.
We're going to have to face another rebuy in against ONYX, of course. The CT economy looks amazing right now with so few players falling in the last handful of rounds. The end result. The AWPs out for both teams. AKs in and Galil for Luka, of course, with the damage being done to eSuba. Going to be a little bit lower on their savings, so can't afford the full gambit of rifles. Can't afford to take the fight back to ONYX, though.
Retaking nades out to the top of Banana itself. They don't actually start aggressing forward. So, yeah, they put the smoke and the incendiary down to try and push the T side away. They don't actually fight for it.
Lils and AKs leaning in towards brackets. Boost up for Petchin, hoping to catch players aggressive in the CT side. No contact established by ONYX, though. They're happy to sit pretty and wait for the execution. They're in the back of the B site. And eSuba might give them exactly what they want.
Even Bondic rotating over from CT spawn, he has got a full set of nades, and they can put this down. Just try and slow down the XE.
Smoke in, Dav with a face. Petchin can isolate that player on top of the boost spot. Dav does gets 2 kills. Twist and Blog is straight back on towards both him and his backup, though. So a 3-on-2 ensues for eSuba. Do ONYX even want to go for this? They've got a lot of cash. The man advantage for eSuba on a B-site retake, though.
You might as well go for it, right? They've got so much money. They are backing off. I don't know about that one. If they were holding on to a couple of AKs, I could look at it and say, they've got T-side weapons. Of course you want to hold on to them. I don't know about that. Maybe confidence to be sort of given up to eSuba?
Yeah.
How likely is that 2v3 really going to come in?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I see your point, and I think it cuts both ways, because, again, the likelihood of a 2v3.
Yeah.
I think, and on a B-site retake, like, we talk so much about how the retakes on Inferno are just, like, borderline impossible, and if you're down in a 5-on-4, then basically the T's have won the round. Though eSuba not getting given the opportunity to pick up all those players here. They'll save their main weapons, not go for the hunt, try to build their own economy state, which they're going to need soon. ONYX still outperforming them by a country mile and have got a double AWP set up on the rebuy.
Yeah, old man JR, right? Back in the day, used to be a main AWPer when he was playing in CIS. Counter-Strike has not been a main AWPer for a while now. It's a very rare chance that we get to see him here on ONYX with the AWP. So, a chance to see what he can do.
Walks in with the flashes coming over towards that short position. Dav with the AWP of Impulse, watching out that bracket's control. Smokes on initially for the T side line. Nice nade in. Dishing out a little bit of damage towards them. Spray's good as well. Tags up. No casualties just yet for eSuba. That might be a positive sign.
Oh, decent. Incendiaries can actually drive Luko forward. The flash over the top does catch off the first player. More damage coming through. Impulse knows that he's there.
Luko's going to continue pressing forward as well. He's blinded off here at the tree angle. Going to get ahead of that smoke. Can he catch the CTs on site, or will he extend out towards the library position? He could play cutoff and stop the rotations from coming in as the B hit is setting to be ready here for eSuba. The AWP of JR, though, sees a gun barrel, gets a kill. Doesn't see that second player till far too late, but still gets him in the end. Petchin with a nade back. Is that going to land towards him? No. JR escapes dodge and still holds with a second AWP. Now on the crossfire. The backstab from Luko has turned it to a 3v3, though. And now JR stands alone, still finding his 3K. Old man, he don't look like it. And now the M4 Bonding can come in and support his teammate. It's all on Bloggis now. 1v3 with the AWP. JR's done a wonderful hold. The bomb dropped in the open. 20 seconds. The CT's on hard rotate. And the AWP Bloggis just desperate now to get anything he can out of this. JR with a swing. Both AWPers miss. Allows Dimkey a chance to find his kill and find the map for ONYX.